Apologies online. Again, apologies online. We have some technical issues. But anyway, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. As it's now 10 a.m., the meeting is called to order. This is the annual stockholders meeting for the Andres Soriano Corporation that we are conducting virtually or through video conference. Joining me as your corporate secretary is attorney Lorna Patajo Capunan. Your directors had a board meeting an hour ago that just finished a few minutes ago, and my fellow directors are participating through the live stream of this annual meeting, which can be accessed through our website. Our stock and transfer agent, Stock Transfer Service, Inc., validated our voting results prior to this meeting. Ms. Secretary, please certify to the proof of notice of this meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As Corporate Secretary of A. Soriano Corporation, I hereby certify that the notice of annual meeting of stockholders and the procedure for registration, participation, and voting in the 2024 stockholders meeting of A. Soriano Corporation were published in full in the business sections of two newspapers of general circulation, namely the Daily Tribune and Malaya Business Insight on March 21 and 22, 2024. Likewise, Mr. Chairman, digital copies of the notice of annual meeting of stockholders and the procedure for this annual meeting, the definitive information statement, and the annual report of the company have all been uploaded and may be viewed in the Philippine Stock Exchange EDGE and the company's website.
Thank you. Ms. Secretary, do we have a quorum?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I hereby certify that 2,774,479,697 shares of stock, or 92.48% of the issued and outstanding capital stock of the corporation, are represented either by proxy or are present through remote communication in accordance with our procedure for this annual meeting. There is therefore a quorum, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Secretary. The meeting will now proceed with the consideration and approval of the minutes of the annual stockholders meeting held on April 19, 2023. Ms. Secretary, can you please explain and inform us of the voting results of this meeting?
The minutes of the annual stockholders meeting held on April 19, 2023 have been available for examination by the stockholders in the office of the corporate secretary this past year. In addition, a digital copy of the minutes has been posted since last year in the company's website. Management is proposing for the approval of the resolution flashed in your screen. Resolved that the minutes of the annual stockholders meeting held on April 19, 2023 be approved. Mr. Chairman, on the voting results, 2,774,479,697 shares of stock, or 92.48% of the total outstanding shares of stock of the company, have voted in favor of the resolution, either by proxy or through the online stockholders voting system, in accordance with our procedure for this annual meeting. The resolution, Mr. Chairman, is therefore approved.
Thank you, Ms. Secretary. The next item on the agenda is the presentation of the annual report for 2023. A digital copy of the annual report has been posted in the company's website. I will now give you the highlights of the 2023 annual report, which includes the financial results for the year ended December 31, 2023, and the operation reports of our subsidiaries and affiliates. Again, Good morning, fellow shareholders, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our 2024 virtual annual stockholders meeting. We are happy and honored to report that 2023 was a milestone year for Anscor. We celebrated our 50th anniversary as a publicly listed company on the 25th of October, 2023. Anscor shares were listed in 1973, and since then, our purpose has been to continually enhance shareholder value with corporate responsibility. To profit with honor, as our founder, Colonel Andres Soriano, espoused nearly 90 years ago. The Philippine economy missed its growth target in 2023 due to inflation and interest rate hikes that dampened consumer spending power. Gross domestic product at 5.6% was short of the 7.6% pace set in 2022. The domestic economy still requires major investments in agriculture. Inflation still needs to be curtailed further, and the economy needs to weather a global economic slowdown heightened by geopolitical tensions. Anscor registered a net income of 2.6 billion pesos, or 2 billion pesos higher if the one-time gain from the sale of AG&P in 2022 is excluded. Our majority-owned subsidiaries performed better than the previous year. Phelps Dodge Philippines Energy Products Corporation, or PDP, contributed just over 1 billion pesos to Anscor's profit. Our share in 7C's earnings increased to 126 million pesos from 89 million pesos. Atram Group's 2023 revenues hit 1 billion pesos, and KSA Realty Corporation delivered cash dividends of 90 million pesos versus 101 million pesos in 2022. Our financial holdings generated a gain of 1.8 billion pesos against a loss of 800 million pesos in 2022. Portfolio gains were driven by the strong performance of our domestic equity portfolio, despite the Philippine Stock Exchange Index registering a 1.8% drop for the year. Dividend income of 368 million pesos represented a 25% increase. Foreign traded equities and other public securities added a gain of 345 million pesos. Anscor paid a total cash dividend of 1 peso per share in 2023. Another 50 centavos per share cash dividend was paid on the 25th of March, 2024. The book value per share of the company increased by 1 peso to 18.88 pesos. In 2023, PDP experienced a 5% decline in sales volume, driven by a 10% reduction in sales to distributors and to dealers due to weak demand at the retail level. Other conditions experienced by PDP in 2023 were the dampened interest in purchasing high-value items such as housing and real estate, delayed industrial maintenance activities, and some project delays. This was offset by higher than expected sales to project customers, power generation projects, and export sales. Despite the drop in sales volume, PDP's net income was stable at 964 million pesos. Emphasizing its commitment to sustainability, PDP will install solar roof panels in its plant in Tarlac. For this year, the company's focus will continue to be a strong adherence to safety for its employees and its customers, the health of its employees, the judicious use of its resources, and the active support of the projects of the Andres Soriano Foundation. Seven Seas Resorts and Leisure Inc., the owner of Amampulo Resort, increased its total revenues by 27% from the previous year to 1.4 billion pesos and registered a rise in occupancy to just under 50%. Consolidated net income was 203 million pesos against last year's profit of 144 million pesos. For the last 3 decades, Amampulo has established itself as an undisputed destination for those seeking a peaceful tropical paradise and a unique natural experience. 75% of Amampulo's guests were foreign this year, enhanced by international sales missions and roadshows to develop the Middle East, Asian, and ASEAN markets. The resort's commitment to biodiversity and sustainability continues with the solar power project. Visitor experience was enhanced with the addition of 2 new Twin Otter aircraft of Island Aviation to transport guests to Pamalican Island. In 2023, the client base of ATRAM Investment Management Partners Corp., ATRAM, grew from 1.3 million to 1.5 million, and assets under management were at 304 billion pesos at the end of the year, which was 99% higher than in 2022. With the financial support of Anscor and other shareholders, 2023 was game-changing for ATRAM, as it forged a strategic partnership with PruLife UK Philippines. ATRAM Trust Corporation was appointed as a fund manager of PruLife Philippines' insurance portfolio in August 2023 and took over its trust operations and the entire fiduciary portfolio. Other key highlights for ATRAM were the onboarding of ATRAM Unit Investment Trust Funds on the Maya platform and the establishment of a broker-dealer firm, Seedbox Securities, Inc. For KSA Realty, the owner of the Enterprise Center, continued to face the downsizing of leased premises. TEC's average effective rate for office leases increased by 20 pesos to 1,450 pesos average per square meter in 2023. This was countered by a decrease in the rental income as occupancy fell by 2% to 64%. A portion of the company's assets are dedicated to startup and private equity funds and direct investments. These non-liquid assets are intended to supplement investment returns through a liquidity premium and, in some cases, provide exposure to sectors not readily accessible through the domestic public markets. Anscor was an early-stage investor in YMAbs Therapeutics, Inc., a NASDAQ-listed clinical-stage biopharmaceutical company. YMAbs received its first U.S. Food and Drug Administration approval for Daniensela in November 2020. Since then, its focus has been on developing the self-assembly, disassembly SADA technology platform, which may bring further long-term value. Sales of Daniensela in 2023 reached $80 million, and the stock price has increased during the year by 40%. With this recovery, Anscor modestly reduced its ownership stake. The company has committed $38 million to the following private equity managers. Navigar and Sierra Madre provide growth capital to Philippine companies across consumer-driven sectors, such as casual dining, logistics, e-commerce, business process outsourcing, information technology, education, and retail. Asia Partners, a Singapore-based private equity manager focused on high growth and technology-enabled companies across Southeast Asia. And Third Prime Alpha Fund, a US-based private equity focused on early-stage finance and property technology. Anscor has also invested in SCI, a Singapore e-commerce company alongside Asia Partners, Caffeine, an early-stage US-based financial technology company alongside Third Prime, and Blue Voyant, an early-stage US-based cybersecurity firm. Programs of the Andres Soriano Foundation, or ASF, continue to focus on collaboration with its partners and donors, and has core programs for health, nutrition, and medical missions, education, livelihood, and the environment in 4th and 5th class municipalities in Northeast Palawan. The Social Enterprise Program of ASF provides food and income for the communities it serves through its handicap production and the operation of assisted marketing cooperative. ASF added 2 island barangays to its environmental protection program, established a new mangrove nursery, and engaged the community in mangrove conservation. The war on the plastic project is successfully gaining traction. ASF, with 5 pharmaceutical company partners, continues to support 7 fellows in the UP-PGH Oncology Department and aims to increase the number of oncology doctors serving indigent cancer patients in far-flung communities, and the number of indigent patients receiving chemotherapy maintenance medicines. Looking ahead, in spite of geopolitical tensions, trade restrictions, and extreme weather impacting on prices, the Philippine economy is forecast to have the strongest and fastest growth among Southeast Asian countries. The key to PDP will be its innovative products, intensive search for new customers, expansion into retail markets and exports, uncompromising health and safety standards, and its commitment to social responsibility. With consumers' newfound preference of experience over things, travel demand remains robust, from which Amampulo shall benefit. ATRAM's strategic partnerships and growing Filipino middle class will spur growth in its customer and asset base. And while the Enterprise Center may have occupancy challenges in the short term, there is an increased return to on-site work and demand for centrally located urban properties. Early stage and private equity investments give your company the ability to participate in the private investment sector and the growing consumer middle class in the Philippines. Prudent management and a balanced portfolio mix have provided for a stable net asset value for your company and a steady return to you, our shareholders. I would like to take this opportunity to thank Mr. Ernest K. Cuyakeng, who is retiring as Anscor's President and Chief Operating Officer today, April 17, 2024, after 34 years of dedicated and inspirational leadership. His able steering of Anscor helped enable your company be what it is today. He will continue as President of Phelps Dodge Philippines, as well as share his wise counsel as a director of Anscor and its subsidiaries, and as a consultant to the Office of the Chairman. Ernest, we all thank you. We are pleased to welcome our new Anscor President and Chief Operating Officer, Mr. William H. Ottiger. He has served as our Executive Vice President, Corporate Development Officer, and Treasurer, and has been with the Anscor Group of companies for over 20 years. Thank you, William, and congratulations. We also sincerely thank Mr. Alfonso S. Yuchenko III for serving with wise counsel as a director of your company these past 5 years. Thank you, Tito. On behalf of the Board of Directors, thank you to all of you. We will now entertain questions from the shareholders, and for this purpose, we have received a question sent by us through email in accordance with our procedure for this annual meeting. Ms. Secretary, can you please read the question?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, we received the question from a shareholder, and the question is, what are the company's expansion projects for the year, if any?
Well, we are engaged at the moment in seeking investment opportunities, as always, and in particular, we like the consumer-driven sector because of the expanding middle class in the Philippines and its increasing disposable income. We feel that as the Philippine economy grows and its youthful population reach maturity, there will be demand for new and premium experiences. For our subsidiaries in Phelps Dodge, we have completed a new CCV line last year to augment capacity for producing power cables. And this year we have a 400 million capital expenditure program at Phelps Dodge to increase and expand capacity and flexibility, as well as installing solar panels at the factory to reduce our energy costs. At Amampulo, given the positive reception by our guests to installing some casitas with pools, 5 casitas to be precise, we are developing a program to install a further 4 more casitas with pools. We are looking to a multi-year property improvement program to update our property in general, and in particular, our casitas. And our focus is to keep our property as a premier luxury destination. I trust this answered your question, Mr. Shareholder.
There are no further questions, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, as there are no further questions, the next item is the approval of the 2023 annual report and the audited financial statements for the year ended December 31, 2023, copies of which have been uploaded in the company's website. Ms. Secretary, would you please inform us of the proposed resolution and the voting results for this particular item?
Management, Mr. Chairman, is proposing for the approval of the resolution flashed in your screen, which reads, resolved that the 2023 annual report and the audited financial statements for the year ended December 31, 2023 be approved. On the voting results, 2,774,479,697 shares of stock, or 92.48% of the total outstanding shares of stock of the company, have voted in favor of the resolution either by proxy or through the online stockholders voting system. The resolution is therefore approved.
Thank you, Ms. Secretary. The next item of business is the election of directors. Ms. Secretary, would you please inform us of the nominations received?
Mr. Chairman, pursuant to Section 3A of Article 4 of the bylaws of the company, the following were nominated on March 1, 2024. Mr. Andres Soriano III, Mr. Eduardo J. Soriano, Mr. Ernest K. Cuyekeng, Mr. Johnson Robert G. Go Jr., Mr. Oscar J. Ilado, Mr. William H. Otiger, and Ms. Camila Maria Soriano. Mr. Oscar Ilado and Mr. Joseph Robert G. Go, Johnson Robert G. Go, have been nominated as the independent directors of the company. On the voting results, each of the nominees for election as directors has garnered 2,774,479,697 votes. They are hereby declared as the duly elected members of the Board of Directors for the ensuing year. Congratulations to all those elected.
Thank you, Ms. Secretary. Congratulations to my fellow directors. A big thank you to you, Tito, and welcome aboard, Camila. The next item of business is the approval of the continuation of Mr. Oscar J. Lado to act as independent director of the company, notwithstanding that he has already served for more than 9 years as an independent director. Ms. Secretary, can you please inform us of the voting results of this item?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Management is proposing for the approval of the resolution flashed in your screen, which reads, resolved that the continuation of Mr. Oscar J. Ilado to act as independent director of the company be approved. On the voting results, 2,774,479,697 shares of stock, or 92.48% of the total outstanding shares of stock of the company, have voted in favor of the resolution either by proxy or through the online stockholders voting system. The resolution is therefore approved.
Thank you. And thank you, Oscar, for continuing to devote your precious time to our company. We really value your wise counsel and advice and your leadership in chairing our audit committee. Thank you, Oscar. The next item of business is the appointment of the corporation's external auditors. Management has proposed the appointment of CICIP Gorres Velayo and Company. Ms. Secretary, can you please inform us of the voting results for this item?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Management is proposing for the approval of the resolution as flashed in your screen, which reads, resolved that CICIP Gorres Velayo and Company be appointed as the external directors of the company. On the voting results, 2,774,479,697 shares of stock, or 92.48% of the total outstanding shares of stock of the company, have voted in favor of the resolution either by proxy or through the online stockholders voting system. The resolution is therefore approved.
Thank you, Ms. Secretary. The next item of business is the ratification of all acts, contracts, investments, and resolutions of the Board of Directors and Management since the last annual meeting as set forth in the minute book. The annual report, the audited financial statements, or as disclosed in reports to the Securities and Exchange Commission and the Philippine Stock Exchange. Ms. Secretary, would you please inform us of the proposed resolution and the voting results for this item?
Management is proposing for the approval of the resolution flashed on your screen, which reads, resolved that all acts, contracts, investments, and resolutions of the Board of Directors and Management since the last annual meeting as set forth in the minutes book of the annual report, the audited financial statement, or as disclosed in reports to the Securities and Exchange Commission and the Philippine Stock Exchange be approved. On the voting results on the resolution, 2,774,479,697 shares of stock, or 92.48% of the total outstanding shares of stock of the company, have voted in favor of the resolution, either by proxy or through the online stockholders voting system. The resolution is therefore approved.
Thank you, Ms. Secretary. If there are no other matters that shareholders wish to take up, on behalf of your Board of Directors, I would like to take this opportunity to express our sincere thanks and appreciation to all our employees for their support and dedication to our company, and to you, our fellow shareholders, for your continued support and confidence in our company throughout these many years. We will now entertain a motion for adjournment of this meeting.
I am Jose Cayobit, a stockholder. I move to adjourn the meeting.
I am Emelinda Orozco, a stockholder. I second the motion.
The meeting is hereby adjourned. Again, good morning and thank you all.